So previous class we discussed like what is the difference between single page and multi-page applications and what is React.js, how to build application using React. These are things we discussed in the previous class. npx create React app, application name we will give. Once the application was built, so just we will run the application using npm start. npm start will run the application. First time while loading the project, it will take some time because it has to install all the required libraries and everything. It will take time to install. And the second time onwards, whenever we make changes, once the project is loaded, whenever we make changes, they will be automatically reflected there. So generally, the applications when we take, every application it runs at some particular address. We call it port address. Port number also we call. Like for example, React it runs at the port number 3000. React Express.js, there are some softwares available which runs at the port number 3000. When we take Angular, Angular runs at the port number 4200. We have some web servers available, Tomcat, which runs at the port number 8080. Tomcat, Oracle server, something like. Oracle database, when we take the database server, it runs at the port number 1521. We call them port addresses. Means when we run the React project, so you can see the project is running at this particular URL, localhost 3000 lines. Localhost in the sense, every computer will have a local address available. It is 127.0.0.1. It is the local IP address of a computer. And when connected to internet, it will have a global IP address. Global IP addresses, they are unique. But local IP addresses, every computer will have its own local IP address, just like this. So local host, simply we can say like local host here. So where the application is running in my local machine. So I call it local host and it is running at port number 3000. Like for example, what is this port number means? Like suppose assume that you are residing in an apartment and you ordered for some item in Amazon. And there you have to specify, you just don't write like, you won't write like just a apartment name. Apartment, it is a building where you are residing. In this apartment, which flat you are residing, you have to give that flat number. So the apartment name, we call it localhost, that is the IP address. And the flat name, we call it like port address there. So this application called React.js, it runs at the port number 3000 like this. Now when we run React.js, so this is what the output you can see here. Just some sample page is running and they are providing some text. Edit src/app.js to save and reload. If you want to save and reload the application, you just modify the file app.js. Just generally in HTML, what happens is whenever we make changes to the application, we have to refresh the page to see the changes. But in React or Angular, these type of applications, no need to refresh the page. Any changes we make, they will be automatically reflected in the browser. And you can see Learn React. When you click on this hyperlink, you will be redirected to a website called react.dev. React.dev, or they will also call it reactjs.org. This is the official website of React. Even when we type reactjs.org, now you will be redirected to the website react.dev. So developers community, we call it. You can see the latest version of React 18.3.1. And if you want to learn React, you can click on the hyperlink. So quick start. So how to work with React, how to create a React project, and how to work with the components in React, how to apply styles. You can see different contents related to React. They will provide the help like this. And not only that, even they will provide a tutorial for us that is tic-tac-toe. A sample tutorial they will provide, like how to build a sample project using React. We can see from this. Step by step, how to work with, they will provide. And even you can see a community here. A huge community is available where millions of developers are involved in building the React product. Even in Stack Overflow, you can find thousands of questions on React.js. Any technical issues we have, we can get them from that site. So we built a React project. Then what this project structure contains? What this project structure contains, now see it. First, it contains something called node modules. So yesterday, like in our previous class, when we create the React project, it has taken so long time to build the application. Why? Because this node modules. So just when I expand, you can see here. When I expand, you can see here plenty of libraries it has installed for us. Plenty of libraries it has installed for us in node modules. So here the libraries in script, we call them dependencies. Means whatever the dependencies that are required to run with a React application, whatever the dependencies that are required to work with a React application, all the dependencies, they are installed in the node modules folder. Even along with the modules provided by React, if I want to create and implement my own set of modules, When I install the custom modules, they are also installed inside this node modules folder. And then we'll have the folder called public, where this folder we are not going to work with. It contains some file called favicon.ic. You can see this is the favicon of React.js. Favicon means what? Whatever you see on the tab, we call it favicon. Now you can see favicon.ico, a yellow color star symbol, Visual Studio Code. You can see some blue color symbol there. Similarly, this is favicon. In the title bar, when we see React app, before that we have that favicon. So what is that icon? Favicon, just they will write like this. And that favicon, it is a LinkedIn index.html. It is LinkedIn index.html. You can see here. Link relationship equals to icon. href equal to just they are giving the path. So whatever the icon file we specify, that image is displayed in the title bar there as favicon. And we say like single page applications, there is only one HTML page available. There is only one HTML page available. Any content is printed on the same page. So whatever the component we click, that content will be printed on the page. So whatever the page that is loaded here, you can see it is nothing but the index.html file. Whatever the page we see here, that page is index.html. Means when we create a React project, only one HTML page will be created for the entire application. That is the index.html. Any component data, it is rendered or it is displayed on the same HTML page. Any component data, it is rendered or displayed on the same HTML page. That is the index.html. And then we have some images provided there. Manifest.json. This is one file used by our browsers. Manifest.json, what it says is, so what type of device you are running your project? Whether you are running the device on a large PC or a desktop or a mini PC or a tablet, what type of device you are running. So that device information that is provided by React here in this manifest.json. Of course, we are not going to work with this folder. That is a public folder. So any coding we perform, it will be done in the folder called src folder. This is the source directory of our project. src folder, this is the source directory of our project. So any logics we write, any components we create, we will write it inside this src folder. So earlier we said that React, Angular, Vue.js, they follow component-based development approach. Component-based development approach means here the application, it is created as a collection of components. A component can be a JavaScript class or a component can be a JavaScript function. So once we build a React project, React, it creates only one component for us, that is the app component. In React.js, components are JavaScript files. In React.js, components are JavaScript files that will have an extension .js or .jsx. Components will have an extension .js or .jsx. That's what the extension we have. And these components, they are arranged in the form of a tree-like structure. These components, they are arranged in the form of a tree-like structure where the root element here, it is a root component of our application. It is the app component. Once we build a React project, only one component is created by React, that is the app component. And it is the root component of our React project. And any components we create, user defined. Any components we create, they will become the child components for it. And they will come in the child subtree here. So as we said earlier, Facebook, it almost uses 30,000 components. 30,000 components, all the components are placed in several levels there. In each level, dozens of components are there. Like that, a project, it is created as a collection of hundreds of components. For all these components, app will behave as a root component. Then, if we want to apply any styles to app component, if we want to apply any styles to app component, those styles will be defined inside the app.css file. Those styles, they are defined in the app.css file. So whatever the styles we define here, those styles, what happens? They are applied to app component only. Whatever the styles we have declared here, those styles are applied to the app component only. So where is the app component? Now you can see this is the app component here, app.js. This is the app component. Even you can see edit src app.js and save to reload. You can see the content here. Edit app.js and save to reload. Also, you can see they have provided a hyperlink. They have provided a hyperlink like Learn React, where we are navigating to reactjs.org. So you can see there. Means what we can understand from this, means when we run the React project, so the React project contains only one HTML page, that is the index.html. React, it contains only one HTML page, that is the index.html page. The only one HTML page that is available, it is the index.html. On that index.html, what it is doing, on that index.html, it is loading the app component. On the index.html, the app component, the contents of the app component will be loaded. On the index.html page, the contents of app component will be loaded. So that is what exactly happening there. That's what exactly happening there. On the app component, it is loading. On index.html, it is loading the app component. Now, app.test.js. For this app component, if we want to create any test cases, for this app component, if we want to write any test cases, we can write inside it. For this app component, if we want to write any test cases, we can write inside it. That is the app.test.js. That's the file there here. Next, we have one more file provided, index.css. App.css, whatever the styles we declare here, they are applicable to app component only. Whatever the styles we write here, they are applicable to app component only. But index.css global styles, whatever the styles we write here, they are applied to each and every component in the application. Whatever the styles we write here, they are applied to each and every component in the application. Index.css global styles we call it. Next, we have a file provided index.js. So this is what the file, of course, report web vitals. We don't need this. You can just remove. Report web vitals, you don't need it, just remove. So this is the entry point of the application. We will run the React project how? We will run the React project how? Like npm start. Okay, now we'll run the React project using the command npm start. So when we say npm start, what happens there? So execution starts with index.js. In index.js, you can see the app component has been loaded. Actually, you can see there, when you are loading a component, the file it is loading is app.js. But .js won't include, just the file name they give. So app is the component that is loading. And now you just see this index.html page. In this index.html, you can find some div element called div id equals to root. You can find a div element called div id equals to root. So a div element has been created where it was given the id root. And now you can see here, document dot get element by id of root. So get element by id of root. So what it means, which HTML element or which DOM element, it uses the ID called root. It uses the ID called root. That element I am getting here, document dot get element by ID of root. And that particular element, what I am doing, I am creating as a root element. In the React DOM structure, React completely, script applications, they follow DOM structure. So React, what happens? In the React DOM structure, create root. So which element has ID root? That particular element is created as a root element here. So to that div element, in that div element, so you can see index.html, we are loading the app component. How it is loaded? You can see root.render. Render means binding the HTML content, binding the component there. We call it rendering. So whatever the HTML code we write, whatever the variables we declare, or whatever the methods we define, whatever the styles we define, applying all these things, we call it binding. Applying all these things, we call it binding, or technically we call rendering here. Technically, we call rendering here. So root.render, that's what I am doing. So what I am rendering here, app. Strict mode means, so compulsory app should be created as a root element. Here in our project, app component, it has been created as a root element. Components, whatever the components we create, they are rendered in the form of a HTML tag like this. They are rendered in the form of a HTML tag like this. So this app component, it was rendered at this root element. So that whatever the data inside this app component, that data will be rendered at this div element. Because of that, you can see the GIF image here, the text from app.js, hyperlink defined. So whatever the content written inside app.js, you can see the image is displayed there. Okay, na? And then the text and the hyperlink to learn React, everything it was displayed there. It is rendered at that particular component. It is rendered there like this. So index.js, it is the entry point of the application. Some logo.svg. So this particular image, it has been taken from this particular URL. It has been taken from this particular URL. From this URL, they are loading that content. So that is the logojet. And report web vitals. I told you, actually this file not required, you can remove it. So why and what is the reason? Why and what is the reason means, actually the purpose of report web vitals is, whatever the project you are working, the statistics about your project. Whatever the project you are working, the statistics about your project, it will send to the thing here. It will send to the React community, like how many resources you are using. So what type of components you are using. Complete information about your React project, that statistics it will send. The application's response time and everything it will be set. But generally, I don't want to make that information provided. So that's why I have deleted it. That's why I have deleted that file. Here, even that report web vitals text also I have been removed here. I have removed. You can see report web vitals. So like this. So to measure performance of your app, this information is passed to the community there. So I don't want to have that file. So just I have deleted there. Next is setup test.js. React uses a test library called Jest. Just DOM. This is the testing library used by React. Angular uses React library called Jasmine. Jasmine is the testing library used by Angular. React uses the testing library called Just DOM. So here for your project, for your React project, if you want to write any test cases, you can write here. For your React project, if you want to write any test cases, you can write here inside setup test.js. And of course, one important file that we can use in our project, it is package.json. Package.json, which provides information about our project environment. Whatever the project we have built, the project environment, that information is provided here. That project information, it is provided here, like what you can see. Project name, demo app. It is taking some version as 0.1.0. Private. Okay, it is not for public use or something. Dependencies. What are the main dependencies and the versions you are using? I told you in React, the projects we call them, the libraries, whatever we use, we call them dependencies. So just DOM library and its version, React testing library version, and React version, you can see whenever we install the project, it will install the latest version only. It will install the latest version only, 18.3.1. If you want to work with some older versions, why? Because maybe some projects they are built using the older version, 16.8, something like that. Then you can change the version number here. Here you can change the version number. And different commands for to work with your React project. So how to start the application, npm start. How to build the project, npm build. How to test, npm text, like that. So the commands that are used to work. The React project environment, and the corresponding information, it is provided inside the package.json file. Package.json file. We are not going to work with this, but any library we install, like for example, I want to perform HTTP requests. I use a library called Axios. Or I want to implement routing. Then I will install a library called React Router DOM. I will install a library called React Router DOM. So whenever you install these type of libraries, these dependencies, they are installed in the node modules. These dependencies, they are installed in the node modules, and the dependency information, it is registered in package.json. Here the dependency information will be added. Whatever the dependencies you are working with, they will be added here like this. So now let's see what I will do. Modifying the project. Just I will open app.js, because whatever the content we write inside app.js, it is rendered onto the page. Just I will open app.js, and inside what I will do, just I will remove all these comments. These logo, they are not required. I will remove them. Just to see, it is created as a functional component. Components can be created in two ways: class components, functional components. So here the project is created app component. By default, it is created as a functional component. I will remove all these stuff. I will remove all these stuff, and just I will write inside h3 align equal to center. Welcome to React. Just some code I will write inside h3 align equal to center. Welcome to React. Any changes you make the application, no need to refresh the browser. No need to refresh the browser. Just to save the changes, automatically you can see on the browser. Logo is not defined. Where we are using logo. Now you can see. So no need to refresh the page. Any changes you see, automatically they will be reflected. It is showing the message like welcome to React. Still you can see the page, whatever it is loaded, it is the index.html page. On the index.html page, whatever the content we are seeing here, the content is related to app component. So on index.html page, the content, whatever we write inside the app component, that is displayed. And as I said, you can see localhost is something it is running there. If you are running your project on a network, this is the default address of your computer, IP addresses. It is running at the port number 3000 like this. And if we want to terminate the project, just simply we say Control C. Then it will ask, do you want to terminate? Just press F1. The project will be terminated. Just press F, the project will be terminated like this. So this is the way how exactly we can work with React projects. This is the way how exactly we can work with them. Actually, there is some issue with our Zoom meeting. So that's why it is taking only 40-minute session there, because nobody is available at office today. Maybe tomorrow they will resolve it. You just try to build the project, and you just try to make whatever the changes you want to do inside app.js. So tomorrow's session, we will see what are components in React, how to work with the components, each and everything will start from tomorrow's session.